welcome to How to Isaac 101, where I will teach you how to play the game The Binding of Isaac. So, let's just get into it, shall we? First off, we got the games. So you got the original, The Binding of Isaac. You got The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which is like a rebirth version. It's like better. You got DLC Afterbirth, DLC Afterbirth Plus, and you have Repentance. So, which one should you get? Which DLC is the best? Well, if you want to just play the game, I'd suggest just Rebirth. But if you want to go like full in on Isaac, then I suggest you go in for Repentance, as it has a lot of content. Rebirth, you can test and see if you like it. Repentance, that's the good stuff. So now let's actually talk about what Isaac is. So, Isaac is a roguelike game where you shoot enemies and you try and kill them. Pretty simple. There's a bunch of items you can unlock and get to help you defeat harder and harder enemies along the way. And there's a bunch of pickups you can get to, like buy things and blow stuff up and open doors, and there's just a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to be going over most of the mechanics in the game, but let's talk about your character Isaac. So your character Isaac, as you can see here, has 3 red hearts and a bomb. I'll talk about that later, but that's all you need to know right now. Let's first talk about the settings you want to enable, because those are really important. So first off, you want to go to your options, and you're going to want to go all the way over down here, and you're going to want to turn on active cam. Basically, when you're shooting a bullet or a tear, basically the camera pans over there, so it makes it just easier to see overall. That's pretty much, yeah. Extra hood lets you see your items that you've collected throughout the run. It's going to be like a small, you want to set to mini, it's going to be like a small section. Found hood shows you your stats, and if you know anything about games, stats are pretty important. You want to know what things do and how they affect you. Charge bars shows a bit of a charge bar while you're using charge attacks. We'll talk about that later because that's not really important right now, but charge attacks, yeah, that's very helpful for charge attack. And bullet visibility, you want to turn that to high. It will just add a bit of a subtle glow to your bullets. So anyways, those are the things you want to adjust, and let's get into the game. So you're just gonna want to go in, play as Isaac, and let's get started. So first off, on the left, you're gonna be able to see your stats. So you got your movement speed, that's the boot, basically. It shows how fast Isaac moves. You got your tear rate, that's how many tears you shoot per second, which are like the arrows. Next, you got the sword, which is like your damage. That's how much damage each tier does to enemies. As you can see, there's enemies here. Now, next, ignore that key. We'll talk about that later. The bow and arrow, that is how much range your tiers have. So Isaac's tiers, as you can see, they stop at a point. That's how much range you have. Next up, you got your shot speed. That's just how fast Isaac's tiers move. And you got your luck, but that's not really important right now. Also, there are 2 other stats there. You don't need to worry about them. We'll talk about them at the end of this episode. And moving on, now let's talk about your hearts. So as you can see, we got red hearts, and basically when your heart containers are empty, you can just pick them up and they'll fill up. There's also double hearts, and they fill up 2 heart containers. So your heart containers is like your max health, and the red hearts are your actual health. As you can see, there's also items that can increase your health. As you can see, I had 4, now I have 5 because of that item. So, yeah, there's another placenta that increases your HP. So now let's talk about soul hearts, which are the blue hearts that you've been seeing at the top of the screen there. Don't worry about this machine, we'll talk about it in the next episode. But soul hearts are essentially fake heart containers, because once your soul hearts get depleted, you can't regenerate them. There's no like soul hearts you can pick up. There's also black hearts, which are pretty much the same as soul hearts, except when you get hit and the black heart gets broken, basically it does a whole like big shock around the room, and hurts all the enemies. And eternal hearts, the white heart you see up there, if you have one of them, you go to the next floor, then you're going to gain a free health container. This also happens when you have two eternal hearts. Now let's talk about a main currency of the game. These are coins. So you got the pennies, which are 1 cent, nickels that are 5 cents, and dimes that are 10 cents. The other currency is bombs, which you can use to blow stuff up. Yeah, they're bombs. Here, boom. I'll talk about these secret rooms later. But yeah, bombs can be pretty useful, especially to blow up special rocks and give you stuff like soul hearts and stuff. Um, yeah, bombs are overall really good. As you can see here. Um, yeah, they also do a ton of damage to enemies, by the way. So you can use bombs for that too, maybe for like a boss. There are also a type of bomb called troll bombs. Basically, troll bombs are not real bomb pickups. Basically, they try and catch you off guard, and you go to try and pick the bombs up, and then they blow you up. So there's actually also mega troll bombs, and what mega troll bombs do is the worst. They actually follow you, which means if you get trapped in a corner with a mega troll bomb, you're kind of screwed. So mega troll bombs pretty much just suck. Next, let's talk about the third currency, the last one, which are keys. Keys allow you to open locked doors, like that locked door there. They also allow you to open locked chests. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, locked chests. Locked chests have a bunch of stuff in them. They're great. Yeah, so that's mainly what keys are used for, just opening up locked stuff. There is also a golden key. Now what a golden key is kind of an infinite key. Basically, you can open locked stuff as much as you want for the floor, and it won't reduce your key count. So as you can see there are 9 keys, and I entered the shop, and it stayed at 9 keys, because it's golden. Okay, and now let's go over chests. So as you can see, there's a chest here, it has keys and pennies. Chests just give you a bunch of like currencies. Like they're not meant to be super special, but they do their job pretty well. Also, I entered that room with the golden key, so it didn't cost anything. Pretty standard. And also, there are lock chests, as I showed you earlier, with the keys. You use keys to open them, and they usually give you better stuff, just more stuff overall, or maybe like an item. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So there's another lock chest over here. Yeah, they just tend to be pretty good. So yeah, as I said, they can have a bunch of stuff. They could also have items like that. So next up, let's talk about red chests. Red chests are interesting. Red chests can tend to have a lot of different things. They can have like flies, they can have items, they can have bombs. They're just pretty crazy. I won't really talk about everything that they have. Now I'm going to talk about sacks. Sacks are just glorified chests, to be honest. They're pretty much the same. Yeah, but now I'm going to talk about room types. So as you can see, this room is very more vertical, which means it's a skinny room. These are normal rooms. They're like rectangular, like this. These are normal rooms. Skinny rooms are thin. And there's also large rooms like these. Now these each have unique interactions. Well, mainly skinny and large rooms. But I'll talk about those later. Okay, now let's talk about the main part of Isaac, which are the items. So the items pretty much make up Isaac. You've seen them. They adjust maybe your health, they give you higher stats, give you unique like tiers. Yeah, items are pretty much the bare bones of this game. They're just like, yeah, that's what makes this game so good. It's the items. So there are two types of items. Passive items and active items. So passive items just are permanent basically, but Active items have charges, and you can use them for something temporary. Like here, this item gives you a temporary immunity shield, and every time you clear a room, it gives you charges. Active items are pretty good, and you can only have one active item at a time. Active items vary in different amount of charges, and like I said, every time you clear a room, it usually gives you one charge, unless it's a large room. In that case, it actually gives you two charges instead of the normal one. Because, I mean, I guess it's a large room, so I mean, yeah, I guess it's fair to give two charges. Okay, now I'm gonna go on a bit of a speed run. So, first off, we got batteries. And batteries, if they're small, they give you two charges, and if they're big, they give you pretty much your entire active item's worth of charges. Usually. Treasure rooms. One per floor, they give you a free item. They're pretty much always worth going to. Shops. You have to spend coins to be able to buy stuff like items or pickups such as soul hearts, keys, bombs. Yeah, that's shops. Next we got curse rooms. Curse rooms are kind of complicated. So basically, when you go in, you take half a heart of damage, and when you go out, you take another half heart of damage. Unless you're flying. If you're flying, if you go in, then you don't take damage, but if you go out, then you still take damage. I don't know why. Um, Curse rooms tend to have red chests, and sometimes can have like items and stuff. So it depends on your situation whether or not you want to go into curse room. Next to us, sacrifice rooms have sacrifice spikes, and if you step on them, you sacrifice health, but it may give you stuff in return. The early sacrifices aren't really valuable, so usually only do it when you're like going all in on the sacrifice room. Usually don't do it a few times because you're just basically wasting health. Um, but we'll talk about sacrifice rooms more in depth in a future episode. Next, we got boss room. Boss room, you know, has boss. Yeah, bosses are pretty good because, well, you kind of need them to be able to go to the next floor. And also, they give you a free boss item. So, I mean, yeah, bosses are great. Except when you die. But, yeah. Also, um, each specific floor has different types of bosses. But that's not really, important right now. I'll talk more about the different floors in the next episode. Also be aware that bosses may have like second phases. Like this boss Gemini, once you kill the big guy, the little baby guy, he starts facing. So just be aware that bosses may be a bit more complicated. Um, yeah, so now I'm going to talk about secret rooms. Secret rooms are secret in the fact that you can't see them on the normal map. They are usually found between three rooms, so they're adjacent to three rooms. Typically, they can be adjacent to two or four rooms, but that's rarer, I would say. Secret rooms can have cool things like coins, they can have items, they can have bombs, they can have a ton of stuff. And it only really costs one bomb to get in there. You have to bomb the wall to be able to get in secret rooms. But yeah, typically they're next to three rooms. Oh, overall, secret rooms are probably pretty worth it if you want to spend the time to try and find them. Sometimes there's like 5 different locations you could try, and overall, it just takes a lot of time to be able to find secret rooms. So, yeah, they are worth finding, but they also do take a bit to find. But there's also another secret room, which are super secret rooms. Super secret rooms, unlike secret rooms, can only be adjacent to one singular room. This means that they're really hard to find, because they're only next to one room. Usually, they're next to the boss, close to the boss, somewhere near there. They can be pretty random, just like secret rooms have pickups, a bunch of stuff. So typically you don't really go for them, but I can occasionally find them because they're usually next to like the boss. Okay, moving on, I'm gonna talk about deals. So there's two types of deals, devil deals and angel deals, and those are the two stats after luck. So the first one's devil deal, the second one is angel deal. So devil deals are special rooms that allow you to exchange heart containers permanently for items, devil deal items. And some of them can be pretty good items. So yeah, they typically appear once you beat a boss, and they have a percentage chance. The first devil deal always occurs after the second boss, and then after that there's a percentage that keeps going up. So let's say I was on floor 3, it would have, I think, like a 33% chance. But then if I didn't get a deal, then the next floor it would be a 66% chance, and then after that it would be a 100% chance to get a devil deal. Another thing to note is that getting hit can actually reduce your devil deal chance. And by getting hit, I mean taking red heart damage. What that means is basically you have no soul hearts and you get hit and you lose red hearts. If that happens, then your devil deal chance actually goes down. If it's soul hearts, it doesn't actually do that though. So overall, all that matters is that you don't get hit for red heart damage, any other damage. If you have like soul hearts, it doesn't matter. All that matters is if you get hit by red heart damage. Okay, so now let's talk about angel deals. So how do you get angel deals? Well, angel deals, you can't get them by floor 2. You actually have to wait past floor 2 to be able to get an angel deal. Why? Well, in order to actually get an angel deal, you need to skip a devil deal. So you cannot go in. If you go in, it's a 50-50, and it pretty much just ruins because you either go all devil or all angel. That's basically how it goes. So basically you skip the first devil deal, and then next floor you'll have a 33% chance, and then it'll keep increasing until you get your angel deal. So what are angel deals? Well, angel deals are free. You don't have to pay anything. It's just free angel items. But the thing is, you're most likely going to get less angel deals because you're skipping the first devil deal, which means the next floor it'll be a 33% chance. So usually you only get maybe 2 to 3 angel deals, while devil deals you might get like 3 to 4. So angel deals you get less, but they're free, unlike devil deals where you actually have to give heart containers to get the items. Okay, to end off the video, I'm just gonna talk about fire, poop, and tinted rocks. So, fire. It's fire, and when you shoot at it, you can put it out, and occasionally it will give you maybe a coin or a heart. Next, we got poop, and poop is pretty much the same, but you have to break it, and same as fire, it might sometimes give a heart or a coin. Lastly, we got tinted rocks. So to find tinted rocks, look for an X or maybe a rock that's a bit of a different color compared to other rocks. This will help you find tinted rocks. So what are tinted rocks? Well, tinted rocks are special in the fact that when you blow them up, they may actually drop like soul hearts, create a locked chest, drop some pickups. So basically, when you see them, just blow them up. It's just free stuff. Anyways, that concludes episode 1 of How to Isaac 101. And this was a pretty cool episode. You learned the basics of Isaac. Next episode, I'll talk about more about, the final boss, Mom. We'll talk about more mechanics that were discussed in this episode and also other characters besides Isaac. But anyways, that's the end of this episode, and I will see you in the next one.